The Millionaire's twins were wild, heartbroken, and impossible to love. No nanny lasted more than a week. Then a humble black maid arrived. With nothing but patience and kindness, she reached their wounded hearts and uncovered a truth that left everyone in tears. Everyone in the city knew about Mr. Harrington's twins. They were not just rich children, they were legends of chaos. At only 6 years old, they had broken 3 chandeliers, set the curtains on fire twice, and driven away 9 nannies in less than a year. Some quit after only hours, leaving without even collecting their pay. Others swore they would never work with children again. It was not just mischief. There was something darker, something in their eyes, a guarded sadness that peeked out between the screens and tantrums. Their father, Charles Harrington, was a stern, sharply dressed millionaire who ran his home like a business. His rules were as unyielding as the marble floors in the grand hallway. But his children, they lived in defiance of every single one. By the time the 10th nanny stormed out, slamming the door so hard the crystal vases rattled, Charles was desperate. The mansion echoed with twin voices shouting insults, daring their father to find another babysitter to torture. That was the day Clara James walked through the gates. Clara was not a professional nanny. She was a quiet black maid who had spent most of her life cleaning other people's homes and raising other people's children in the shadows. She was used to being overlooked. She was used to swallowing her pride. Her references were old, her clothes modest, and she carried no expensive degrees in child psychology. Just a warm smile and eyes that seemed to understand pain. The butler tried to warn her. "You will not last the week, Miss James. They will eat you alive." Clara only replied softly, "Children only bite when they are scared." Her first steps into the nursery were like walking into a battlefield. Toys and clothes littered the floor, crayon drawings covered the walls, and in the center, 2 little warriors sat cross-armed, glaring at her like she was the enemy. The girl, Sophie, spoke first. "Another nanny? Bet you do not make it till Friday." Her twin brother, Samuel, added with a smirk, "We break the ones we do not like." Clara did not flinch. She simply knelt down so she was eye level with them. "Then I suppose," she said gently, "we should get to know each other before you decide to break me." The twins were startled. No one had spoken to them like that before. But they did not drop their scowls. And as the mansion clock ticked in the silence, Clara knew one thing. Winning these children's trust would not be easy. What she didn't know was that earning it would uncover the biggest secret the Harrington mansion ever kept. Clara's first morning with the twins began at dawn. Most nannies would start with strict rules, but Clara started with pancakes. She set the table in the sunlit breakfast room, placing a stack of fluffy pancakes on a plate shaped like a smiling sun. She even cut strawberries into little hearts. When the twins came in, Sophie crossed her arms. "We do not eat with the help." Samuel grabbed a pancake with his hand, tore it in half, and tossed it back on the plate. "We have people to bring us food in bed." Clara did not scold them. She simply poured syrup slowly, the sweet smell filling the air. "Then, I guess I'll be eating alone," she said calmly. That made them pause. Children who are used to control don't know what to do when someone doesn't fight them. Samuel sat first, suspicious. Sophie joined a moment later. They ate without speaking, but Clara noticed the way they watched her, as if they were studying a puzzle. The days that followed were a battle of patience. They locked her in the pantry for an hour. She sang softly until they opened the door. They poured flour all over the kitchen floor. She turned it into a baking lesson. They hid her cleaning supplies. She thanked them for helping her take a break. Slowly, their tantrums grew weaker. One afternoon, while Clara was folding laundry, Sophie lingered in the doorway. "You are different. the little girl whispered. Different how? Clara asked without looking up. You do not yell. You do not...
It happened on a rainy Thursday, the kind of rain that made the mansion feel even colder despite its gold chandeliers and silk curtains. Clara found the twins in the playroom, sitting on opposite sides of the room like tiny strangers. Their toys were untouched. Without a word, she brought in a large cardboard box and placed it on the floor. "What is that?" Samuel asked. "A boat," Clara smiled, "and I am the captain. We are sailing to somewhere the rain cannot find us." For the first time, Sophie's lips curved into the faintest smile. She crawled in first, followed by her brother. Clara sat between them, making the box rock gently as if on ocean waves. They laughed, real laughter this time, not the mocking kind they used with nannies. When the voyage ended, Sophie leaned against Clara's shoulder without thinking. Samuel did too. The weight of two small heads resting on her felt heavier than gold. That night, as she tucked them into bed, Sophie whispered, "Can you sing like Mama used to?" Clara froze. "I can try, baby." She sang softly, an old lullaby her grandmother used to hum. The twins closed their eyes immediately, as if the melody was a thread tying them back to something they thought they had lost forever. Halfway through, Samuel's small voice broke the stillness. "Mama used to sing when she was here." "Where is she now?" Clara asked gently. Silence. Then Sophie pulled a crumpled photograph from under her pillow. It showed a smiling young woman with kind eyes holding two babies in her arms. She looked nothing like the stern Mr. Harrington. "Papa says she is gone, but he will not tell us where," Sophie murmured. Clara felt the air shift. This was the heart of it, the reason for their wildness, their mistrust. They were two little souls aching for the truth about the woman who had disappeared from their world. And Clara knew the only way to truly help them was to uncover that truth, no matter how much Mr. Harrington wanted it buried. It took Clara weeks of quiet observation, gentle questions, and late-night talks with the twins before she pieced together fragments of the truth. One evening, after the children were asleep, Clara found herself standing in the grand library. The fire crackled low. Mr. Harrington sat behind his enormous mahogany desk, signing papers. "Sir, the children are asking about their mother," she said softly. His pen froze. He did not look up. "That is none of your concern, Miss James." But Clara did not move. "It is my concern when it keeps them from sleeping, when it makes them believe no one will stay. They need to know she loved them." He looked at her finally, his eyes sharp. Then, unexpectedly, they softened. "She died. The night they turned 4. A car accident. I could not tell them. I thought, if I kept them from it, I could keep them from hurting." Clara's heart ached. "Sir, they are already hurting, but the truth will let them heal." The next evening, Mr. Harrington sat on the floor of the nursery for the first time in years. Clara stayed in the corner quietly. "Your mother was the best part of me," he began, his voice shaking. "She did not leave you because she wanted to. She left because she could not stay, but she loved you more than anything." Sophie crawled into his lap, sobbing. Samuel wrapped his arms around both of them. And for the first time, the mansion echoed with tears and comfort. From that day on, the twins changed. They still had wild energy, but now their laughter was free, not laced with anger. They clung to Clara, calling her their forever friend. And Mr. Harrington, a man who once kept his home locked tight, began opening it to family dinners, bedtime stories, and warm, messy mornings. Months later, as Clara tucked the twins into bed, Sophie asked, "Miss James, you are not going to leave, are you?" Clara kissed her forehead. "Not as long as you want me here." Samuel grinned sleepily. "Then you're never leaving." And in that quiet moment, Clara realized she had done the impossible. She had not just lasted with the Millionaire's twins, she had mended a family's heart.